DBSCG things.
What's up, Yuhp gang? It's your boy Tex, and welcome back to Yuhp DBSCG things. And today we're going over another very exciting deck profile, guys. This is going to be a deck that went 2-1 at our leader draft weekend. This is going to be blue-green Vegito. But before we get into it, guys, I do want to say that if you guys are wanting custom manting or sleeves, absolutely check out Promats, guys. This is the best place to go get your custom card needs. Links in the description below for you guys to go check it out. And also, before I dive in, I do want to say that I'm trying to grow my Discord community as much as possible. So if you guys are going to search for a community where you can come check out the card reviews every single day, ask for an untap and or webcam battle, or generally just ask some card questions, this is definitely the place for you. So I will leave a link in the description below for you guys to go check it out. With that being said, guys, if you guys enjoyed this deck or my content in general, remember to hit all those buttons for me, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And with that being said, let's turn it around and check it out. And one more thing to add, guys, I am trying to give out a bunch of TPs and judge packs and random revision packs and things like that I've collected over time. So I will be doing this every single week. I'll give out 3 to 5 of these packs on my live streams, on my Tuesday live streams, Tuesday testings, of course. So make sure if you guys want a chance to win any of these TPs, you do stop by for next week and any week after that for a chance to win some of these TPs. And for a brief second, I will leave a picture up of what the prizes are so that you are a little bit more swayed into stopping by. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Alrighty, you guys, here is the deck that was played at leader draft weekend, and we will go ahead and start off with the leader. Auto, when you attack, you draw 1 card, and then auto if it's your opponent's turn and one of your blue unison cards would be placed in the drop area, or one of your blue battle cards is removed from your battle area by a skill or KO'd. You may flip this card over and draw 2 cards, or if you just got down to 4 life, you can untap 1, draw 1, flip them over. So on the back side, when you attack, you draw 1. Activate main, which is kind of this, or activate battle. This is kind of going to be the main strategy of the deck. Is going to be trying to get that this effect off. Activate battle for 2 blue energy. Choose one of your blue unison cards, and it gets plus 10,000 power and triple strike for the battle. And then once again, just like on the front side, the way that you get that secondary awakening, you get auto once per turn. You get to draw 1 and untap 1 energy when one of your blue battle cards and or unisons is removed from the field by a skill or KO. So moving on to the deck, this is going to be your main turn 1 opener. This is going to be make it so that when you start off the game, you're going to pay 1 energy, play him, get no effects. Especially if you're starting first, you get to block your opponent's lead swing, trigger your ability to untap 2, and then he will untap the energy that you used to play him, and that's going to be your main awakened chain right there. And then also doing this any point of the game is just going to be getting you value because you're going to get a draw 1, untap 1 anytime you block with him. Your next turn 1, if you don't see this, you have this, and then also he just generates more value later in the game when you have your unison on field. He's a 1 energy blocker, and then when you play him, if there's unison in play, you get the draw card. Same idea as Rhoda, except for he gains more value later in the game because tagged with your leader effect, you play him, you draw, you block with him, you're going to draw 1, untap 1. Later in the game, he's going to be an untap 2, draw 1. So to the main engine of the game, or of the deck, that's going to be what's going to be getting us dubs as much as possible. We got the Unison, Android 17, 18, teaming up. Very great Unison, 2 energy. Auto, when a player attacks, you can add a marker to this card and then use one of your blue 5k cards from your drop area and combo it. And then it gets negated for the turn after you use that auto. That adds a marker to the card as well, so that's very, very good. You have a niche little 2 energy way to play him from your energy. You're never going to use it. But one of the best parts about this card is your -4. This card gets plus 10,000 power and dual attack. So if your opponent does let you get to that, that gives you 2 instances to try to get to your tap 2 double strike, or triple strike, which will make him a 35k triple strike with just 2 energy. The turn after you play him, if your opponent does not knock 1 marker off him. So that's him. Next up, we have Boo Unison. We're playing blue, so we're playing Boo. That's just the quote of the day. You play blue, you play Boo. That's just how it is. We're playing 2 of it. It's a great Unison, and it's still a 20k beater. And triple strike will override the double strike if you give it to it, and you can land triple strike damage with him as well. We're playing Unison, so we're playing 3 copies of God Seal. God Seal losing more and more value the longer the format moves on. This card essentially only stops like floodgates nowadays because no one invests into battle cards that aren't deflect. Next up, we're playing blue, Senzu Bean, tap 1, untap 2, draw, or not draw, untap 2, and then 5k to one of your cards. Next stable piece, Dimension Magic. You kind of just play it. Zeno, I'll put this over here because this is another card that you can use to bait your leader effect. If you don't have a blocker, you can play this to draw a card, and then your opponent, because you have a super combo on field, your opponent's going to want to get rid of it. If they do so, you get to draw another card off your super combo and untap an energy. And if they don't get rid of it, of course, you get the combo with it and then fix your energy, which is really, really good. Moving on to some battle cards, we have 2 copies of SS Vegeta, the Interceptor. He's essentially just a 20k dual attacker that chooses 2 of your opponent's battle cards in play and bottom decks them in any order. Getting that hard removal for just 2 cards for 1 card is very, very good. And then, of course, if your opponent decides to move your 20k dual attack, you're going to untap 1 and draw 1. Very, very good. Next up, we're moving into some Floodgates. We have Vegeta Ready to Rumble. This card's great. He's essentially like the floodgate for the deck. You're going to get the 4 energy. You tap 4, you negate the attack, you play him. He's a 20k blocker himself, but then his auto says your opponent cannot attack for the turn unless they pop an energy every time. So they're never going to swing through that, and then that just leaves you with a 20k blocker on field, which is going to trigger your leader on your opponent's on your next turn. And if they don't, if they decide to pop energy to get through him, you're going to get your effect anyways. So that is definitely the way, because once they pop an energy, you can just block it if they actually decide to try to aggro through that, which they probably won't. Next up, we have SS Son Goku Miraculous Transformation. This guy is Deflect, Unique, Triple Strike, and Barrier. A bunch of keyword skills that make him really good. He has a counter attack. Play this card in rest mode. Really good. He has a permanent. During your opponent's turn, reduce the energy of the cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each card in your opponent's energy. So by turn 3, this card's a 3 cost. Floodgate. It's basically a Barrier, Deadly Defender, because it has this other permanent. If your leader is mono blue and this card is in rest mode, your opponent's battle cards cannot attack leader cards. So now you have a 20k triple strike guy that's deadly defending for your leader, and if it gets removed, you get to untap 1 and draw 1. Very good card. So one of the things about this deck when I was building it was I wanted to try to incorporate the new 9-drop cell. So 9-drop cell. We play 3 of that. So everyone knows this card by now. This card is the big monster for Gamma 1 and 2. Deflect, dual attack. You can pay 4 energy. One of them has to be green. One of them has to be blue. 2 colorless. Play it from your energy. It gains double strike for the turn. And then it has this other auto. If your opponent decides to counter during a battle with this card, they have to bottom deck 1 card from their hand. That is absolutely huge. And then when he gets played with that tap 4 effect, you're going to choose every card in your opponent's battle area and bottom deck it, not ignoring barrier, but getting that mass board removal in a deck like this is huge, because this deck really does struggle with board clearing. So now that we revealed that we're playing 9-drop cell, we do have to figure out how to get green into the deck in order to actually play this. So when I was building it, my first idea was, of course, Hasty Dispatch Dispo. This is a 1-drop green card, which of course serves the purpose of charging to use 9-drop cell, or of course being the activate main here. If you do end up comboing him or any reason that he ends up in the drop area, you can activate main, remove him from the drop area, send him to the warp, and then you get to choose one of your 1-drop battle cards and play it with its skills, negate it for the turn. So essentially, you can combo him to survive like a 15k attack or something, and then activate main during your turn. Play him from the drop area. You won't get any of his on-play effects because he doesn't have one. But when the turn passes and you gain his skills back, you get blocker and his auto again. So you can block and then get your leaders untap 2 and draw 1 for essentially free if you play this card correctly, if you combo it or something. Next up, we have Infernal Villainy Cell, yet another green card that has dual purposes in the deck. A card to charge so that we can play the 9-drop cell, and then also just being a 1+10k that draws a card. So it's essentially just a pseudo super combo that is a little bit better in this deck because we're triggering our untaps. So we can, let's say, block one of our opponent's attacks. We're going to get a draw and an untap, and then the next attack, as long as it's not over 25k, we can at least match it with that. So if they are at 25k, we can match it with that and then just get one card. Or if they're at 20k or less, it's essentially free. And then, like I said, just being green, the charge for cells is just absolutely great, good. Next up, 2 copies of Android 1718 Limitless Energy. This card is a 1 plus 10k, so it's not the greatest in this deck, but you can still use the activate main. 1 blue and 1 green. If your leader card is blue or green, you can play this card from your hand or energy. So it does serve the purpose of using the auto and becoming a 20k dual attacker. You do have the auto when this card is played to get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost greater than and or equal to the current energy that they have and place it at the bottom of the deck. So that is a really good card. And then also, if you just have it turn 1, maybe you don't have one of these to start off everything correctly, you can just charge this at any point in the game. Or, like I said, these guys are triggering untaps, and hasty dispatch dispo can make your untaps a little bit more free if you're playing these guys from your drop area without tapping or investing energy. So if you get to a point where you need green and you don't have one of these to hard charge, but you got a dispo in the drop area, you can charge one of these, energy exhaust, and then use hasty dispatch to play one of these guys from the drop area, block with it, and then you get your energy up that way. Or just, we're blue, so we got sense of being if we need to do that. One of the things about this deck is that it doesn't draw the most, so we are playing 4, just straight up play 4 Gray Ape, Son Goku, Saiyan, and thingz. Having 4 copies of this card makes sure that this deck has the hand that it needs to have. It's just absolutely good. There's not much to say about it. Tap 2, draw 2. If you have a blocker in field, you're going to get one of those energy back and a draw. So pretty decent. Next up, we got a 1 of Baby Golden Avenger. Having a counter is just kind of very, very necessary in this game in general. Just having counters is massive. Not to mention this counter in general is going to remove something, ignoring barrier, draw a card, and provide you a 30k triple strike threat. So that's huge. Our overwhelm of choice is Scientist Food. This guy is a 1 energy overwhelm 7. And when he gets played through your overwhelm skill, you're going to draw 2 cards, and then he provides you a 25k double strike pressure. And then last but not least, our secret rare, we're playing Baby Hatch. It's blue, we're playing Baby Hatch. Not much else to say about this. Do I have anything to say about the deck? Personally, I did not play this at our leader draft, guys. I did build this deck. This idea is all mine. I built this deck for my teammate that pulled this leader for our leader draft. If you guys don't know what our leader draft is, I'll tell you exactly what it is really quickly. So essentially, before every single set comes out, our entire local gets together, spins a wheel with every single leader in the game on it, and you spin it 3 times, you get 3 leaders, you get to choose one. If you don't choose one, you get to mulligan and do that up to 3 times. Once you mulligan, you don't get to go back and choose one. So, long story short, this was one of the random 3 leaders that he got to pick from. He picked this, I helped him build it, this was my idea, and he actually did very well getting 2nd place with this deck. His matchups that day, I don't know how the gameplay went. Of course, you can watch them on the channel, they are up. He was on stream round 1, 2, and 3, so you will be able to see this deck in action. He versed round 1. Round 1 was against Red Pilaf. That was another one of our teammates' role there. That's what he ended up getting. That's what he ended up having to build. Unfortunately, just having a sneaky triple strike on a unison is just very, very good. Next up, he versed SS3 Goku Reboot. Just yet another matchup that is, if you don't have a hard negate to stop this here, you're going to get heavily, heavily hurt. And he was in just having triple strike on your unison is huge. And like I said, I didn't say it yet, but SS3 Goku does not have a huge hand size, so you can pressure him pretty early if he doesn't have his floodgates. Next up, we versed SS4 Helku. I was actually piloting Helku and ended up beating this deck just because I have so many ways to rest things. I got Poutine out before he could drop 9-drop Cell, so it made it so that he never wanted to play 9-drop Cell for like 2 or 3 turns after the turn he should have played it. So he was already in a pretty bad spot in that sense. So with that being said, guys, this was the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed this version of my Super Saiyan Blue Vegito Godhood Transcended list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. With that being said, hit all those buttons for me, of course. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.